Bill, how do you like the conference?
It's my first time to be in Poland, and I'm really enjoying the country. Yep.
And the conference itself? The presentations?
Yeah, I felt this morning especially was really good, and this afternoon also. This morning talking about just kind of trying to change the government, from both design and technology. And it's interesting because some of the same problems we run into in big companies, you run into in big governments. So I thought that was really applicable. And then just the redesigning of the weather app this afternoon was really cool because it was not so much the design problem they started out with. It was actually a much deeper problem they got to, and I think that's when design gets really interesting, and it's pretty exciting to see, the Polish designers thinking beyond just design. They're thinking actually about business problems, which is really good.
Okay, you work for a really big company, PayPal, and at the same time you're an evangelist of Lean UX, and it doesn't seem to be easy when you work for such a huge organization. And what do you think, what are the biggest limitations of Lean UX while working on big projects? Do you think that there are areas where it's better to avoid implementing it?
Well, I think it's always best to take a lean approach on anything. However, the challenges are going to be around co-location, getting people together, because a lean kind of process dispenses with a bunch of the documentation and delivery. And when you do that, you need to get people together. And of course, the problem with getting people together in global companies is that people work all over the world. So co-location, if you really have a problem with co-location, you have to figure out models on how to adapt Lean UX. I think you can always do Lean UX, you just have to adapt it for the environment you're in.
And how do you evaluate your work? Do you use some KPIs or you got some other methodology for that?
Yeah, so it's all about learning. So everything we're doing is around build, measure, learn. So in order to measure, you have to have some clear indicators. And some of those are, of course, once you get the product out and you start getting feedback, we do analysis. For example, it's in a funnel, a checkout funnel, a payment funnel. You're looking at how many people get through that. If it's maybe another part of the site's about engagement, or maybe it's less calls to the customer center. Each one of our products have different KPIs. Initially, though, your early KPIs are really around doing usability studies and research and hearing what customers are saying and seeing if the ideas you're putting forward are actually addressing their needs. That's a little softer. That's why it's called qualitative. And when you get to quantitative, you can get much better measures. But every product, every company needs to identify those key things that they value, and that's what you're trying to build, measure, and learn against.